Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a really close look at PMP certification. It's something many of you, our experienced listeners, might be thinking about.
Absolutely.
We've got this fantastic guide, basically a roadmap for those of you who've been, running projects, managing teams, juggling deadlines, solving problems for years, but maybe haven't got that official global recognition yet.
That's exactly right. And our mission here for this deep dive is to really pull out the essentials from this guide.
Right.
We want to give you a direct step-by-step approach, specifically for professionals like you who are already deep in the project world.
Right?
It's all about understanding how to leverage the experience you already have to get that official certification. And, that can open up some pretty significant new doors in your career.
Okay, let's unpack this then. You've done the work, you've led the teams. So how do you get globally recognized for it? This deep dive, it's designed to show you exactly how to take that final step into certification. Now, this first point our source makes, it's often a big aha moment, I think, for experienced folks. The guide really emphasizes that the first crucial step is actually a mindset shift. If you've been leading projects for, say, 5, 10, maybe even 15 years, you don't really need to learn project management like a beginner. You've already been doing it.
Exactly. And what's really interesting here is the distinction it makes. It's not so much about learning completely new project management concepts from the ground up.
Right.
It's more about understanding how the Project Management Institute, PMI, the global body behind the PMP, how they want project management structured. The PMP exam tests their processes, their specific language, their approach, not just your everyday company way of doing things.
So, okay, you've handled those difficult clients, right? You've managed cross-functional teams, delivered complex stuff, dealt with risks, budgets, crazy deadlines.
All of it.
You've done the hard yards. This is really about translating that rich experience into PMI's specific framework. It's like learning their dialect.
That's a great way to put it. You're translating your practical skills into their globally recognized language.
So once you've kind of made that mindset shift, starting to see your years of work through that PMI lens, the next question is probably, okay, but am I actually qualified? Let's look at eligibility. And the good news, according to our source, is that many of you probably are.
Yeah, this is important. So what are the actual requirements?
Okay.
Basically, there are two main experience paths, plus you need some training.
Okay.
Option one, if you have a bachelor's degree or equivalent, you need 36 months. That's 3 years of leading projects. And that experience needs to be non-overlapping.
3 years, got it.
Option two, if you have a diploma or, say, a high school certificate or equivalent, then you need 60 months, so 5 years of that non-overlapping project experience.
5 years in that case.
Right. And crucially, for both options, you also need 35 hours of formal project management, education, or training. That's a hard requirement.
And the really key takeaway here, which the guide stresses, is that you absolutely do not need a formal project manager title on your business card.
No, definitely not.
As long as you've actually led projects, delivered outcomes, managed the timelines, whatever your title was, that experience counts. What if someone's experience is a bit less traditional? Like maybe they led projects as a scrum master or a tech lead.
That's a really common question. PMI looks at the functions you performed, not the job title. So if you were initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, or closing projects, basically, doing the work of leading a project, then yes, that experience should count. The guide is clear. It's about the substance of what you did.
Okay, that makes sense. So once eligibility is sorted, the next hurdle is picking the right training for those 35 hours. Our source highlights you don't necessarily need like endless study sessions, but you do need the right material and the right mindset.
Precisely. And the guide strongly recommends going with a PMI-authorized training partner, an ATP. These are the providers PMI has officially vetted and approved.
Ah, okay. So the content is aligned.
Exactly. And you've got options depending on your learning style. There are intensive boot camps, live online classes, or even self-paced courses if that works better for you.
And it sounds like it's about getting straight to the point guidance that actually respects the experience you already bring, not sort of basic hand-holding.
That's the idea. And looking at the bigger picture, the course content itself is vital. It absolutely must cover the latest PMBOK guide, version 7, which is more about principles and performance domains now.
Less rigid, maybe.
Yeah, arguably more flexible and adaptable, which experienced pros often appreciate. Plus, a huge emphasis now is on agile and hybrid approaches. That's not just a side topic. It's deeply integrated, reflecting how projects actually run today. The exam tests this blend heavily.
So things like real-world case studies, mock exams, those should be part of it too.
Oh, absolutely. You need practice applying the concepts, especially the agile and hybrid stuff, and getting used to the exam format.
Okay, great. So you've got the right mindset, you've confirmed you're eligible, you've picked your ATP training. Next up is the application itself. Now, filling out the PMP application, that can seem daunting, but our guide suggests for experienced folks, it's actually pretty straightforward if you know the trick.
Right. The process itself is online at pmi.org. You fill in your education, your training details, and then your project experience.
Yeah.
The absolutely crucial part for every project you list is describing what you did using PMI's terminology.
Ah, okay, so speaking their language again.
Exactly. Instead of just saying, I ran the project, you need to use phrases like managed project scope, conducted stakeholder engagement, led project execution activities, managed risks, and oversaw project closure and deliverables.
So it's about framing your real-world actions using that standard PMP vocabulary. Like if you, I don't know, saved a project that was going off the rails, how would you phrase that for PMI?
That's a good example. Internally, you might just say, yeah, I rescued that disaster. For PMI, you'd break it down. Identified root causes for project variance, developed and implemented corrective action plans, including scope and schedule adjustments, managed stakeholder communications regarding changes, and successfully realigned the project to meet its objectives. See the difference? It's about the process you used.
Got it. Much more structured.
And one more thing on the application, be aware you might get selected for an audit. It's usually random.
Right, the dreaded audit.
It sounds scary, but honestly, if you've been truthful and you've got your documentation somewhat organized, like contact info for managers who could verify your experience, maybe copies of your training certificate, there's really nothing to worry about. Just be prepared.
Okay, good advice. Be honest. Be organized. So, application submitted. Finally, we get to actually prepping for the exam. It's known to be tough, 180 questions, almost 4 hours long. But our source lays out a smart strategy.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. The exam covers 3 main domains.
Yeah.
First is people, that's leadership, conflict management, team building, motivation, all that.
Okay.
Second is process. This covers the more technical aspects like risk management, quality, scope, schedule, budget, change control.
The traditional stuff.
Well, integrated with agile and hybrid now, but yes, the core processes. And third is the business environment. Things like compliance, delivering value, organizational change, and linking projects to strategy.
So how do you prep for all that?
The strategy our guide pushes involves doing at least 3 to 5 full-length mock exams. These simulate the real test conditions.
And just doing them isn't enough, right?
Absolutely not. The critical part is analyzing your mistakes. Don't just look at the score. Figure out why you got a question wrong. Was it a knowledge gap? Did you misread the question? Did you fall for a tricky answer? That analysis is where the real learning happens.
That makes sense. Learning from the errors.
Exactly. The source also recommends tools like flashcards for terms, maybe cheat sheets for formulas or key concepts, mind maps, whatever works for you. But the fundamental idea, the core mindset for studying, is to train yourself to think like PMI.
Not necessarily like your current company does things.
Precisely. Even though you know how to manage projects successfully in your world, the exam tests the PMI way. It's about understanding their specific framework and logic, especially for those tricky situational questions.
Right. It's their test, their rules.
You got it.
So bringing this all together, what does getting the PMP really mean for you, the experienced professional listening right now? Our source concludes it's more than just another certification on your LinkedIn. It's a statement.
It really is. If we connect this back to the big picture, it essentially says, look, I've been doing this for years. I've honed my skills through real-world challenges. And now I also speak the globally understood language of project management.
And that opens doors.
It can open significant doors, yes.
Right.
We're talking potential for higher pay, access to more senior or complex roles, definitely increased trust from clients and senior leadership. It adds a layer of credibility backed by a respected global body like PMI.
So if you've been kind of on the fence, maybe thinking someday, this guide really suggests that for experienced pros, now is a great time. You've already done the heavy lifting, the actual project work.
Exactly. The experience is banked. This is about formalizing it and getting that global recognition.
You've done the work. So here's the provocative thought we want to leave you with today. How might adopting this global language of projects, the PMI framework, not just unlock those external career opportunities we talked about, but maybe, just maybe, fundamentally shift how you see the value and structure within the work you're already doing, day in and day out.